Zaka, one simple point. Tolerance, inclusivity, these are the strengths of Hinduism, not weaknesses. These cannot be labeled as excuses to demean Hinduism in the garb of intellectual debates. Let's not confuse these things. That's all.
No, no, the same tolerance should apply to other religions also.
Absolutely.
In Udaipur, when somebody, put up a Facebook post supporting Nupur Sharma, we saw what happened to that person, Sanket Yanagi. I mean, tolerance can't be the domain of just one religion. All religions should be practicing tolerance. I mean, they all preach tolerance, but the practitioners of certain religions don't follow tolerance.
Should I reply?
Yeah, Sanket Yanagi.
Firstly, the discussion on Hindutva, especially when the elections are nearing, is BJP's agenda in order to cover up its administrative lacuna or corruption or
Sir, then you are saying Mr. Jarkioli is doing BJP's bidding.
And
Mr.
secondly,
Jarkioli is not a BJP leader, no.
I'm not justifying the statement made by Mr. Jarkioli. But however, this is what the BJP wanted to cover up through media also.
Sir, I'm
And
asking you
media
a
is
simple...
also part of this.
No, Sanket
No,
Yanagi, sir.
let me tell you
Sir,
one by
very
one.
simple. No,
It is a
if Satish
conspiracy
Jarkioli...
of
One
BJP.
second, sir, 10
I'm not
seconds.
justifying
If,
Mr.
no, I don't want you to
Jarkioli.
justify
It is a
or
conspiracy
diss what he has
of
said.
BJP.
Your argument,
and also
sir,
through
give me
the
10
media
seconds.
indirectly
Sanket
like this.
Yanagi, give me 10 seconds. If you are saying that this is BJP agenda to have Hindutva cover up for their failures, I will agree to all of what you're saying, provided Mr. Jarkioli was a BJP leader. Mr. Jarkioli is a leader of your party. So you are saying that he is doing the BJP's bidding.
So that is what I have already made my stand clear and the stand of the party very clear. First of all, Jarkioli ought not to have discussed this in the public forum.
Yes.
Even inviting an intellectual debate in the way which he has done or followed, according to us, may not be required or was not a need of the hour.
Okay.
Especially when the BJP has failed in the administration and facing the corruption charges, it wanted to cover up its lacunas.
Okay.
It has given us big boost for the BJP.
So either you are saying that Mr. Jarkioli is doing the BJP's bidding, or you are not taking action against him. Which I'm not able to fathom why you are not taking action against him. But anyway, Tushar, the point simply is this: that Mr. Jarkioli, whether it is a Jarkioli today or whether it's a Kamal Hassan, a few weeks ago, essentially what they are trying to say is the modern day construct of Hinduism, Hindutva, Hinduism as a religion as we know it, was not there. It was not thousands of years old. It was an imported concept. It came from Persia or Iran or wherever the Aryans came from. Before that, as Kamal Hassan says, you had Shaivism, you had Vaishnavism, but Hindu, according to him, was a coinage by the British.
Well, that's just his theoretical assumptions. There's no, laughable statements to say the least. But what Sumanta here is implying, it seems either he's using the virtues of Hinduism to insult other religions, or he's using his own theory to allow the insult on Hinduism. That's for him to decide. And the other panelists before him, are they really implying, Zaka, that the minister in question is a BJP mole within the Congress and yet they want no action against him? Zaka, the problem here is everyone feels threatened by a Hindu identity. Now, the Hindu identity can be political, it can be economical, it can be cultural, depends on however you want to see it. But somehow there are a lot of factions, a lot of lobbies in India who do not want to see this Hindu identity evolve for reasons best known to them. And this is what they always try to counter. So sometimes you have the theory of Dalit Muslim unity, sometimes you have the Brahmanvad, sometimes you have something else going on. During the farm laws, it was about the upper caste versus the Sikhs. So there is this faction a lot across India that want the Hindu identity to not evolve, to not come up, to not assert itself.
All right, I'll give Captain Karnik the final word. I'm running out of time, folks. I'm running out of time. Captain Karnik, final word. Only Captain Karnik.
Zaka, thank you very much. You have opened the discussion and exposed the doublespeak of the Congress party. See, they admit that he should not have said it. Now they are very, very hesitant to say that some action has to be taken. Mr. Tushar put those words which was in my heart. I can't, as a politician, I can't say those things. There is a narrative which is being promoted in this country. Satish Jarkioli, Suman Raman, and all these people are a part of a narrative which is being promoted, which is anti-Hindu narrative. Congress, during the past 75 years,
I don't need a certificate from you, sir.
Has taken a stand, anti-Hindu stand.
Okay.
So it is an anti-Hindu party. We must appreciate that.
I got to wrap up. I'm completely out of time. Thank you very much to all our guests. Let's see how this story plays out for both the Congress and for Satish Jarkioli.
to Republican control would have consequences. No matter what.
Hello everyone, you're watching News Epicenter with me, Maria Shakil. As Delhi continues to choke under a thick blanket of smog, CNN News 18 has accessed an RTI reply which shows that the Aam Aadmi Party-led Delhi government has collected over 1,200 crore in environment cess since 2015. Yes, you heard that right. 1,200 crore in environment cess since 2015. However, only a little over 270 crore of it has been spent on improving the air quality in the national capital. Once again, the BJP has accused the Aam Aadmi Party of corruption, claiming it is pocketing the underutilized amount and using it for elections. The BJP claims this is similar to the modus operandi of the Delhi liquor scam, as well as the charges leveled by Sukesh Chandrasekhar, who is in jail presently. In fact, RTI responses have also revealed that 50% of the posts at the Delhi Pollution Control Board remain vacant. Of the 344 positions at the board, 187 posts are vacant. Remember, this is the party that campaigned on the promise to solve the pollution crisis in the national capital and tackle farm fires in neighbouring Punjab, where it is now in power as well. As the Aam Aadmi in the capital continues to choke and suffer from hazardous health conditions, now the Aam Aadmi Party calls it a North India problem, demanding solutions from the central government. While the party has taken responsibility for rising farm fires in Punjab, will it take responsibility for inaction in the national capital, where it has been in power for 8 years?
आरटीआई के में ये खुलासा किया कि हाँ, हमारे पास 1500 करोड़ रुपए इकट्ठा हुआ, केवल 300 करोड़ ही खर्च किया गया पोल्यूशन के लिए, और बाकी 1200 करोड़ रुपया, अब ये सब लोग जानते हैं कि अरविंद केजरीवाल जी की कितनी बड़ी पैसे के प्रति भूख बढ़ चुकी है।
Let's get you an overview of the pollution crisis in the national capital. Look at the quality of the air the people of Delhi have been forced to breathe since the beginning of this month to today. The quality of air is only deteriorating between severe and very poor category. That's how it looks. And doctors across the capital have highlighted an uptick in patients, particularly the children and the elderly, who are complaining of respiratory issues, with more and more being hospitalized every day. Look at what the RTI reply had said. Since 2015, over 1,200 crore, to be specific, 1,286 crore has been collected by the Delhi government as part of the environment cess. Now, this amount should have been used to tackle pollution. But of this amount, that is 1,286 crore, just 270 crore has been utilized. This is a fund utilization of just over 20%, with over 1,000 crore which is unaccounted for. So where has the money gone to tackle the pollution crisis in Delhi? The bigger question is that the national capital, where the Aam Aadmi Party is in power, there is another state which the party rules in, that is Punjab, which accounts for 80% of the farm fires. So if you're giving you a holistic picture from where the crisis is, since the beginning of November, we are seeing a fluctuation of farm fires in the state. But in a majority of the states, days, in fact, you see a number well above the 2,000, with a peak on the 2nd of November, that is the day, at over 3,600. So this is the picture of Delhi and Punjab, both ruled by the Aam Aadmi Party, but the Aam Aadmi, that is you and me, are looking for solutions because the air is unbreathable in the national capital region. Let me take all these questions to the panelists who are joining me. Harish Khurana, spokesperson of the Delhi BJP. Dr. Piyush Joshi is a political analyst. Hari Shankar Gupta is a spokesperson of the Congress. Vivek Chattopadhyay is associated with the CSE. Jayadhar Gupta is founder member, My Air to Breathe. I'm going to begin with you, Dr. Piyush Joshi. The direct question that will be asked to the Delhi government is, where is the missing 1,000 crore?
Hello.
Yes. Dr. Piyush Joshi.
Hello.
If you can hear me.
Hello.
Yes. Where is the missing 1,000 crore rupees?
Right. Just seem to be having some kind of connectivity issues, but let's bring it back to the same issue. If I heard you correctly, you are asking about the missing 1,000 crore rupees. Look,
Yes.
The pollution problem has to be tackled in various manners. One is the pollution which is due to the stubble burning. Another is the vehicular pollution. Third is the dust control pollution. As you are recently aware, that the Aam Aadmi Party-led Delhi government has gone for an electrical.
Okay, we'll try and fix that line. But the larger question is, before the BJP as well, you are in power at the center, Harish Khurana. Does this merit an investigation? Will the BJP be going beyond press conferences?
See, first of all, Maria, when I'm talking to you, the AQI level is 424. So we are living in a gas chamber actually.
Yes.
And the RTI which you're talking about is my own RTI. And now the reply, which is the latest, which has come in now, is 1,573 crores now. Because the reply which you got it with you, I think, is till 2nd of September, I believe. And 2022. 2021, the latest figure is 1,573 crores. But interestingly, the amount spent on that is 272 crores. Out of that, in which out of 272 crores, 265 crores have been given under for Delhi merit RRTS as per the SC order on 6/3/19. So the major chunk, 90% of the money has gone to Delhi merit RRTS. Nothing belongs to for the environment. When we asking the question about where have you used this money in a pollution, removing the pollution, because you collected money as the environment says.
Yes.
So you have to use this money only and only in tackling the environment problem.
Yes, this is criminal. This is criminal breach of people money as
where,
well. This is misutilization.
10 seconds.
Yes. Okay, Harish.
10 seconds.
Yes.
6 crore have been given to traffic marshals, deployment of civil defense volunteers as civil traffic marshals at enemy lanes, SP mark. This is the one. This is the reply. So basically, what you are using it as, maybe in your whatever way you can say your own karyakartas or what, but 1,200 crores and its interest. Not only 1,200 crores. I'm asking the 1,200 crores plus the interest which have been incurred. I mean, through if you put it in the banks. This interest.
Yes, Jayadhar Gupta.
Also,
Jayadhar Gupta, help us understand. Help us understand. Is this not criminal misutilization of public money?
Look, I don't want to get into the politics of it. What I can tell you is that the entire air pollution strategy or campaign of the Aam Aadmi Party has been a colossal failure. Even if we give them some leeway and tell them that, in 2015, this is a problem they inherited, they didn't create, it's been 8 years. This is the 8th year. In 2020, it was very much a prominent part of their election campaign. Right after they got elected or re-elected in 2020, I remember personally meeting with the Environment Minister of Delhi. We spent an entire day in a closed room. There were other environmentalists as well, and we created, it was a think tank kind of meeting. We created an entire strategy for this city. And let me just tell you, it's been a colossal failure.
Yes.
And, as a parent, I just sit here feeling helpless year after year. This AQI is 400. It's going to be about the same or maybe even higher tomorrow morning, and the children go back to school. And this is a human rights issue at this point. This is an execution issue. It's a complete failure. And if the Aam Aadmi Party, like every year, says, hey, we failed because the centre's not with us, or the centre
I do not agree with that blame game anymore. They cannot pass the buck.
I don't either, because
Yes.
their election mandate should have had this disclosure at the bottom that we will not execute on this mandate if we don't get support from the centre. Because if that disclosure had been there, I would not have voted for them. So I'm really, really mad at this point, and I think I speak for every parent in the National Capital Region and beyond, all the way to West Bengal. Our children are being our children are going to be stunted. Our children, all the sports activities are stopped. It's a physical development, it's an emotional development, it's a mental development issue at this point. And I think there's just a lot of anger.
Absolutely, and
I
rightly
keep
so.
hearing about this control
And rightly
room
so.
and war room.
And rightly
Who's
so.
leading on this? I still don't understand.
Yes.
Absolutely. Who's leading on this? I still don't
Who is
understand
leading?
who's leading on this
Yes,
issue.
absolutely.
I
And
want
where
to
is the
see a
solution?
face who's
Where is the
leading it
solution? For
and who's
weeks,
answering my questions.
it's almost like a seasonal issue that we visit every year. This is the time period, November, and for 1 month we discuss it. Nothing seems to be moving. Aam Aadmi Party blames the centre. The centre says Aam Aadmi Party has been ineffective, and then the responsibility is never fixed. Nothing moves. Vivek Chattopadhyay, the larger question is, this is, again, let's refer to the RTI because that's important here. 21%, just 21% of 1,298 crore collected as environment compensation charge from diesel guzzling trucks entering the capital in the last 6 years, according to official data, has been used. What about the rest? Vivek Chattopadhyay.
Yeah, definitely Delhi government has to clarify why the money has not been utilized for, there are several purposes where it can be utilized. For example, public transport improvement, where we need number of buses, electric vehicles, other clean fueled vehicles, and of course, we can provide for the indoor air pollution improvement, clean fuels for poorer households. And there are several other avenues, like roads can be improved for bicyclists, for walkers. So there are, I think the purpose of the environmental compensation charge is not just to collect the amount, it's utilization, proper utilization policy. So I think when there are needs for air quality improvement, then there are several things that require money or the funding. I think that should be the priority of the government, and
that has not been
clearly.
And that has not been. They could have used it for creating that cyclist track. They could have used it for electric vehicles, improving the overall transportation. But instead, yes, Dr. Joshi, you have much to explain, because the Aam Aadmi Party decided not to participate in discussions because these are questions that they have to answer. They are, it's about children, their growth. How do parents respond to, that the children are not allowed to step out of their homes because the air outside is unbreathable? Dr. Joshi, go ahead.
Yeah, this is, during these winter months, this problem is because of the smog, and about 30 to 37% of of this smog is basically because of the stubble burning issues.
It's a convenient excuse. It's the most convenient excuse that you come up with, that it's stubble burning. And why is the stubble burning increasing, particularly in Punjab Chief Minister's home district? Aren't you accountable for that? Why haven't you provided solution to the farmers?
Maria, can I?
Yes, please. Go ahead, Harish.
Maria, you see how you have asked the question where this money is. He's answering, you're asking a physics question, he's asking a chemistry answer. He don't have an answer where the 1,200 crore rupees has gone. Our clear allegation, this money has been used somewhere else. So God knows where it is. The inquiry should happen, and we are going to move into court also to ask about where the money has gone. So the court will ask them. Point number one. Point number two, he was talking about a stubble burning. You remember last year Arvind Kejriwal used to say, I have developed one biodecomposer capsule by the people by the Pusa Institute, and he has spent 3,79,000 rupees on 2 years of buying that decomposer for Delhi. And you know how much they spend in advertisement? 23 crore 27 lakhs. That's again my RTI. 23 crore 27 lakh rupees spent on the advertisement on the 3 lakh rupees biodecomposer. So when I say this Mukhyamantri is a Vigyapan by Mukhyamantri, that is absolutely right. Also, now one more point. If that biodecomposer capsule is so much effective, why have you not given to Punjab? Because the Punjab cases have gone up by 34% now, and Haryana cases have come down by 30%. So if you have so much developed and it is so successful, which Arvind Kejriwal claimed last year also, that biodecomposer was so successful, why have you not given to Punjab? And if that is not successful, where this 23 crore rupees have been spent?
Okay, let me bring in the Congress representative as well. He hasn't said a word on this show till now. Harishankar Gupta ji, what is the Congress planning to do? You have to unmute yourself.
सबको मैंने सुना है और इशू ये है कि सेस जो है ग्रीन टैक्स जो है वो अनयूटिलाइज्ड है नियरली टू द ट्यून ऑफ 1,000 करोड़ रुपीस।
राइट।
अब सवाल ये है, इससे बड़ा सवाल एक और भी है, ये अकेली एक चीज नहीं है जो दिल्ली में पूरा नहीं कर पा रहे केजरीवाल। ऐसी बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जो दिल्ली में केजरीवाल पूरा नहीं कर रहा। अब वो क्यों नहीं कर पा रहे हैं? ऐसा नहीं है कि वो पढ़े लिखे नहीं है, वो इस चीज को समझते नहीं। उसका कारण हमें ढूंढना पड़ेगा, उस पर भी चर्चा करना बहुत जरूरी है। उसका कारण ये है कि उनके पास समय नहीं और दिल्ली गवर्नमेंट को एक एड एजेंसी चला रही है। एक एड एजेंसी दिल्ली सरकार को चला रही है जिसका काम सिर्फ ये है कि उसका 4 पेज का फुल पेज का विज्ञापन किसी ना किसी इशू पर अपने आप बनाकर दे दीजिए, हमें दिखाने की भी जरूरत नहीं। वरना आप देखिए 1,000 करोड़ रुपए आज दिल्ली के लोग पोल्यूशन से मर रहे हैं। पूरे दिल्ली के अंदर लोग घर से बाहर निकलना बंद हो गया है। 1,000 करोड़ रुपया में तो अगर ये लोग धीरे धीरे करके लोगों के घरों में एयर प्यूरिफायर सप्लाई करते तो वो पूरा हो जाता। और 1,000 करोड़ रुपया अगर ये यूटिलाइज कर लेते पोल्यूशन को ठीक करने के लिए, तो मैं समझता हूं कि काफी राहत दिल्ली के 5 सालों में मिल सकती थी। लेकिन सवाल ये है कि उनका फोकस नहीं, उनकी नीति और नीयत नहीं है इस बात के लिए कि मैं इस दिशा में कोई काम करूं। सारी चीजें आउटसोर्स किया हुआ है, सारे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट पे चल रहा है और दिल्ली गवर्नमेंट, जैसे मैंने पहले कहा, एक एड एजेंसी उसको चला रही है और केजरीवाल जी वो बैठकर कर रहे हैं। 1,000 करोड़ रुपया कम नहीं होता है,
बहुत होता है।
बनाई गई थी। इलेक्ट्रिक बसेस कितनी खरीदी इन्होंने?
हाँ, कितने इलेक्ट्रिक बसेस खरीदे गए? डॉक्टर जोशी, कितने इलेक्ट्रिक बसेस खरीदे गए?
We all know very well कि इलेक्ट्रिक बसेस का क्या हुआ है और वो फाइल कहाँ अटकी है। Even before the procurement was done.
नहीं, आप स्पेसिफिक जवाब दें। इनएक्शन है,
देखिए
सरकार का इनएक्शन साफ आ गया है सामने।
Look, I initially had a very poor internet connection because of I could not speak. Now I have, as you said, I have much to answer for. Though I am not official spokesperson of Aam Aadmi Party.
But you are a sympathizer of the Aam Aadmi Party. Please explain.
Absolutely, I am a sympathizer of the Aam Aadmi Party and its policies. That is why I am appearing on this debate as well. So in the same city, we have seen the AQI in excess of thousands in the last few years' time. Right now, we are seeing an AQI of 400, 500.
No. There was never AQI in the tune of thousands. Jay Gupta, Jayadar Gupta and Vivek Chattopadhyay, both of them are here. Don't be inaccurate. Don't be inaccurate.
I am not. How can you say I am inaccurate? You can check the post-Diwali
fact. Go ahead,
you can check the week after the Diwali, and you can
Where is the missing 1,000 crore? 1,000 crore कहाँ गया?
देखिए, मेरा सीधा सा कहना है, आप 1,000 करोड़ की बात कर रहे हो। 1,000 करोड़ आपको किसी इलेक्ट्रिक बस को खरीदने के लिए भी लगता है तो एलजी पहले से ही फ्रीज कर देते हैं ये बोल के कि भैया इसमें अलेजेड घोटाला है। अरे एक बस भी नहीं खरीदी उसके पहले तो घोटाला हो गया। नाउ यू आर आस्किंग मी वेयर इज द 1,000 करोड़? हाफ ऑफ द पॉलिसीज आर ऑब्स्ट्रक्टेड एट द लेवल ऑफ एलजी because he somehow imagines that there is some kind of scam involved in all of this. Now about the NIA, Arvind Kejriwal has gone on national television and assumed the responsibility about the reduction in the Parali burning. Somewhat may, whether or not center supports the Punjab government or not, Parali burning incidences have to come down and it will be down by next year. Now we keep on asking the questions. See, why Kejriwal ji has mentioned 4, 5 different solutions, 6, 7 different solutions. Why has not any BJP leader mentioned about these solutions? Why has not the Union Environment Minister mentioned about these solutions? A person who puts some thoughts into a process only will be able to provide you solutions.
Okay, Harish Khurana, respond to this. Harish Khurana, respond to this quickly.
Just give me 10 seconds. Just give me 10 seconds and I'll find out.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I'm telling you. You employ 5 different strategies. 2 work, 3 work, 2 don't. But when you don't employ any
you
strategy,
could have used that 1,000 crore rupees for multiple purposes. For sprinklers.
देखिए, I don't
वही पैसा सही से यूज हो सकता था, आम आदमी पार्टी यूज कर सकती थी, लेकिन वो यूटिलाइज नहीं हुआ. Smog towers, water sprinklers, although these are band-aid to a bigger problem, but that could have been done. There could have been proper infrastructure-driven policies to tackle pollution. That has not happened.
Maria, one more thing. Who's monitoring? Who's monitoring the GRAP rules? Who has instituted the CAQM? That is the Supreme Court. And who the CAQM reports to? The CAQM reports to the Union Environment Ministry. So it is a collective issue. It is a Supreme Court monitor provision, and everything is done under the Supreme Court.
When the accountability is sought, Harish, then it becomes a collective issue. Harish, quickly, and then I'll give the final words to Jaideep Gupta. Please go ahead.
He's asking about collective effort, but where our chief minister is, he's on political tourism. When the Delhi people require him the most, we are coughing. You are coughing. I mean, people are coughing and living in the gas chamber. My CM is roaming around every state, but he to have a time for other things, but not for Delhi. What the collective effort
are you talking political or technical?
मैं बीच में नहीं बोलता किसी के. What is this, yaar? What is this? And where is the Punjab chief minister?
Maria, give me 10 seconds.
हाँ. हरीश शंकर गुप्ता 10 seconds आपके लिए.
देखिए, बड़ा दुख का विषय है. और जोशी जी बिल्कुल एकदम से मैं तो इसको बोलूंगा कि ये करप्ट इश्यूज जो हैं इस ढंग से बात कर रहे हैं कि अब बार-बार उस बात को घुमा रहे हैं, इधर ले जा रहे हैं, उधर ले जा रहे हैं. 1,000 करोड़ रुपए आपने यूटिलाइज किया कि नहीं किया, पहले तो आप हाँ या ना में जवाब दीजिए. आप क्यों नहीं कर पाए इसके बारे में बताइए. आप इधर उधर की बात मत कीजिए, इधर उधर की बात मत कीजिए, सीधा सीधा बताइए 1,000 करोड़ रुपए कहाँ है. वो
हरिशंकर जी वो तो कह रहे हैं मुझे पता ही नहीं.
मिसयूज किया, विज्ञापन में खर्च कर दिया.
हरिशंकर जी वो तो कह रहे हैं मुझे पता ही नहीं है. वो तो कह रहे हैं मुझे पता ही नहीं. वो तो कह रहे हैं मुझे पता ही नहीं.
फाइनेंस मिनिस्ट्री में चले जाइए और पूछ लीजिए कि 1,000 करोड़ रुपए का क्या किया.
किस बात के लिए हैं आप?
सिंपैथाइजर हूँ साहब, मैं कोई स्पोक्स पर्सन थोड़ी हूँ, और मैं तो दिल्ली सरकार का स्पोक्स पर्सन थोड़ी हूँ.
चलिए जयदेव गुप्ता, there is political inaction, also lack of political will, which is evident, and worse, what we are seeing is underutilization or misuse of funds. The Aam Aadmi Party clearly has much to explain now.
Absolutely. I mean, if you just draw parity to Beijing, 3 years from 2012, they reversed air pollution by 60%. Maria, are you telling me that a man of science, Mr. Kejriwal from IIT, 8th year, not even 1%, this is a colossal failure. And, frankly, my colleague from the Aam Aadmi Party, fellow panelists, every year I'm sick of hearing that, oh, we'll fix it next year. I don't want to hear this anymore. And, I'm sick of it. Really, I mean, you think we are fools that we're going to wait year after year after year while we all suffer? I mean, if my entire household is steaming and doing Jalneti and on nebulizers, since for the past 15, 20 days, this is just absolutely pathetic. I mean, you expect us to just wait for you forever till we die? I mean, this whole city has turned into Gotham City. And I'm sorry, we don't have patience for your false promises anymore. This is my 8th year on a panel like this, and you know what? I'm done. You've gutted this city, and this political stalemate between you and the center, it's an economic loss, it's a health loss. In every way, my city is losing out year after year, and nobody cares to fix it. You're just politicking for the next state and the next state and the next state, where you will just run with similar problems and
Mr. Gupta, we are going to fix it.
Absolute lack
I know, I empathize with you.
Execution. I'm sorry.
I totally empathize with you. We are going to fix it. We own up the responsibility for the stubble burning. We are going to fix it, come what may. trust us on this. I know you had a lot to bear.
No, but I share your anguish, Jaydar Gupta. You're speaking for perhaps each and every citizen of Delhi today. Thank you so much, Harish Khurana, Dr. Piyush Joshi, Harishankar Gupta, Vivek Chattopadhyay, and Jaishankar Gupta. We are shifting focus to debate 2 on News Epicenter. The Congress continues to find itself in a political storm sparked by its own leader from Karnataka, Satish Jarkioli. After creating controversy for claiming that the word Hindu is a vulgar Persian word, the Congress leader has defended his statement. He says he is ready to resign as an MLA if someone proves to him that what he said is wrong, citing multiple pieces of historical literature from Vedic philosophers and freedom fighters to make his point. But the BJP claims this is yet another insult to Hindus from the Congress camp, accusing the party of insulting India's ancient culture, once again demanding an apology from the Gandhis. The Congress has distanced itself from Jarkioli's remark, claiming it will take a disciplinary action. But the BJP says this is the test for Congress chief Mallikarjun Kharge to show if he really runs the party, demanding Jarkioli's ouster. This is indicative of a larger problem with the Congress, where it finds itself on the back foot when it comes to the politically potent Hindutva card, failing to compete with the BJP. And ahead of the election season, should the Congress get ahead of this controversy and sack this MLA to silence its critics?
हिंदू शब्द कहाँ से आ गया? ये हमारा है, पर्शियन का है.
That's Karnataka Congress MLA Satish Jarkioli sparking a storm with his take on the origin of the word Hindu. But the provocation didn't end there.
फिर उसका मीनिंग आपको समझ में आ गया तो आपके अब शर्म आ जाएंगे. हिंदू का जो मीनिंग है वो बहुत गंदी है.
The following day, Jarkioli remained defiant.
ಆರ್ಯ ಸಮಾಜದ ಸಂಸ್ಥಾಪಕರಾದ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ದಯಾನಂದ ಸರಸ್ವತಿ ಅವರು ರಚಿಸಿದ ಸತ್ಯಾರ್ಥ ಪ್ರಕಾಶ ಪುಸ್ತಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಉಲ್ಲೇಖಿದೆ. ಇದನ್ನು ತಾವು ನೋಡಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕರ್ತವ್ಯ ಕೂಡ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ GS ಪಾಟೀಲ್ ಅವರ ಬರೆದಂಥ ಬಸವ ಭಾರತ ಪುಸ್ತಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಉಲ್ಲೇಖ ಇದೆ.
Under fire, Congress condemned the remarks.
ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟೀಕರಣ ಖಂಡಿತ ಬಯಸ್ತೀವಿ. We will not entertain all this stuff, personal opinions. ಎಲ್ಲ ಮನೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ.
But the BJP questioned Rahul Gandhi's silence.
ಸಣ್ಣ ವಿಚಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಕೂಗುವ ರಾಹುಲ್ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಅವರು, ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯ ಅವರು ಯಾಕೆ ಮೌನ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ? ಅವರ ಮೌನ ಸತೀಶ್ ಜಾರಕಿಹೊಳಿ ಅವರ ಸಮ್ಮತಿನ?
Despite the outrage, Jarkioli stuck to his guns.
ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡಲಿ, ಯಾರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಓಕೆ, ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಸತೀಶ್ ಜಾರಕಿಹೊಳಿ ಅವರು ಕ್ಷಮೆ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಕ್ಷಮೆ ಅಲ್ಲ, MLA ಸ್ಥಾನ ಕೂಡ ರಾಜೀನಾಮೆ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅವರು.
Satish Jarkioli, the sugar baron from Belagavi district in North Karnataka, is from a political family, but he is known to be politically incorrect. He resigned from the Siddaramaiah government in 2015, taking a stand against the government's failure to move the anti-superstition bill. In the past, he's also declared that he and Bill Gates became billionaires without worshipping goddess Lakshmi. But with elections around the corner in Karnataka, has Satish Jarkioli become a liability for the Congress?
And how long can the Congress continue to defend him? Let me bring in all the panelists and go straight to Lokesh. Isn't it prudent for the Congress, I would say, to sack Jarkioli?
Yes, good evening. First of all, the remark that he made was personal. The party has made it very, very clear that the statement is unfortunate. And secondly,
Lokesh,
why is it...
If you are making a statement from at a public rally, on a public platform, you are there because you are a Congress representative. Then how is it in the scope of a personal statement?
The statement that was made, that is his, he claims that he has read about it and he claims that he has an academic basis to it. The party does not support such forms of statement. The party remains committed to Sarv Dharma Sambhava.
The party remains committed to equal dignity to all religions and the very basis of holding every religion equally holy and with equal respect. But why is it that only Congress is being targeted? I mean, why are news channels completely mute when we talk about Bansidhar Bhagat, who mocked Goddess Saraswati, who mocked Goddess Lakshmi? We had Bukal Nawab, the BJP legislator, who called Hanuman a Musalman. And what about Dilip Ghosh? He questioned the ancestry of Goddess Durga. So when you are talking about BJP, it refused to even condemn the statements which was made by their own legislators and leaders.
Vijay Prasad, before I go into that, the statements that have been made by BJP leaders in the past, I want to understand from you. Jarkioli says he can back his statement with facts and he will quit if proven wrong. Will the BJP take up that challenge?
No, see, thanks, Maria. Before I go into that details, I need at least a couple of seconds to make my statement here. See, Congress and its gang is very well known for whipping hate against Hindus. Any given opportunity, they bash Hindus and Hindu beliefs and customs. Hindu bashing has become their famous pastime. Okay, Congress bashing Hindus and their belief is in their viscera, and Congress is pathological liar and say they disown such words against Hindus but stand firm with the perpetrators, in this case, Satish Jarkioli. Congress doing temple run during elections is just a drama to show that they are with Hindus. But Congress is divided.
Vijay Prasad, all this is fine. All this is fine. Whatever you are saying, you have been saying it on all the issues. My question is specific. No, he has thrown a challenge. Will the BJP take up the challenge?
No, what kind of challenge is this? See, when he is bashing up, when he is making some kind of international statement, what is there to accept the challenge here?
Okay, Lokesh.
What is it, sir?
Yes.
No, see,
I want to know what action did BJP take when Bansidhar...
We have been observing this. Congress is coming. Congress is coming with...
But the Congress certainly, Lokesh Jindal, finds itself on the back foot. Will you not accept that the Congress finds itself on the back foot when it comes to Hindutva? Is this not a perennial problem where you're not able to ensure that your party thinks in the right direction when it comes to Hindus and Hindutva? Why is there that confusion within the party?
See, Maria, Hindutva is not in obscurantism and fundamentalism. It is not in hatred of Islam or other religions. Hindutva is based upon the ideology of Aham Brahmasmi, Sarva Dharma Sambhava. It is a legacy that this great civilization has given to the world. If we talk about Advaitavad, when we talk about these forms of messages, but nowhere you talk about them. Sir, please do not interject. Sir, please do not interject. Let me complete. When you are talking about giving mockery of the gods and goddesses, look at BJP's track record. Look at Dilip Ghosh. Look at Bansidhar Bhagat. Look at Bukal Nawab. Look at Yogi Adityanath. Yogi Adityanath, he tried to associate Lord Hanuman with the caste. Now what about that, sir? Why don't you condemn that? Just because he is belonging to the ruling party?
Maria.
I am also...
Okay. Vijay Prasad, respond. Vijay Prasad, respond. One moment. Lokesh, you have asked some questions. Vijay Prasad, respond.
No, this shows how Congress is disconnected with the happenings around the society, engage themselves in appeasing a particular community. Okay, be it Satish Jarkioli or Siddaramaiah, who is a known...
Sir, which community are we appeasing?
And now ex-minister, Lalita Nayak, and these people have taken cue from Siddaramaiah. And even today, at this hour, even Siddaramaiah has not come out.
Okay, there are two other panelists as well, Mr. Gowda and Ramaswamy Mayappan. But Mr. Gowda, do you demand action should be taken against Jarkioli? They are your former allies. The Congress party is the former ally.
No. In what context he made the statement? We wonder at this point of time.
No, whatever the context. Whatever the context. Are you demanding action?
I don't demand any action, but you shouldn't have make that statement. See, Hinduism is not a it is a way of life. It is everybody. Some good people will say, known people will say, it is not a religion. It is a way of life. It allows all the religions, and it allows everybody to live in peace and harmony. That is a way of life also. So now in English there is a lot of meanings for a word. by quoting that, you shouldn't have made that statement and made it an issue.
No, but
Now,
because it's becoming embarrassing for the Congress party, mere distancing itself, is that enough?
There is no question of balancing. I never asked him to make the statement. Okay, we are the last people. We are thinking about how we should come to the power, and we have done the good things to the state of Karnataka, and we are not worried about what Jarkili will say, what Sidramaya say, what DK
Okay, so
Shivakumar
you're really not bothered about what is happening on the Congress front. Lokesh?
See, the point is very clear. When you are talking about BJP, it is simply embarking upon some issues so as to politicize the matter and simply brush aside the real issues that are confronting the country right now.
Okay. I will come to that. Let me get opening comments also from Ramaswamy Mayappan. Ramaswamy Mayappan, is this just Netas blowing hot and cold on sensitive issues ahead of elections?
See, absolutely. I think not just hot and cold, it's also political opportunism. He had the entire 4.5-year period. He did not talk about these things. It's not that Mr. Jarkioli did not know what the definition was and what the term Hindu meant and how various forms of Hindu, India, Bharat has been used by various travelers around the world and various invaders over different points in time. But for him to take a particular word, its coinage, its usage, and its meaning at this point in time only has this electoral mindset in place. If this wasn't the issue, then he would have made this in the past. That is one. Two is, there is a specific intent at this point in time. I think there are two actions that I would demand just as a common man, leaving aside any political inclination, leaving aside my legal background, all that. Two things. One, when someone does not make these statements in entire membership, in entire political history of 30 years or whatever, all of a sudden after he's lost his 2021 elections, the Congress will have to take strict action. That is one. That does not stop at distancing themselves from this position, but at least at a minimum inquiry as to what happened. Subsequent to that, potential suspension and all that aside. Two, legally at a minimum, let a police case be registered, 153A, 295, and let him be questioned. If politicians are not put to test of all these things, politicians consistently will start making these statements come election time. What happened to the same person 4 years or last 30 years in his career? Now he's lost his election in by-election in 2021. Now he wants to make a statement and get away with it. If a common man made the statement, would we get away with it? No, that is not the case. Does that person have different treatment? Article 14 does not call for that. All of us have to be treated equally. To me, it appears that the Congress is treating him differently because he's a winnable electoral politician, and I don't think the police should treat him differently either. Either the electorate should treat him or give him an appropriate lesson, but I think before that, the Congress and the police will have to start acting.
Lokesh?
See, first of all, it's very important to allow him to make his stand clear. In which context did he say it and what he meant with it? And secondly, the Karnataka administration, it is free to file an FIR. In fact, that's the right thing to do. It should file an FIR. It should have the entire matter discussed, entire matter brought to the light of the people at large. Let the people be educated what the truth is. And it would be good for the entire society altogether. What he said was Hindu was of a Persian origin, which is quite right. If you talk about the Persian syllable, ab, se, char, panch, shish, haft. Now in Sanskrit, 7 is sapta. Sir, please do not interject. Please listen to me. Please listen to me. Please do not interject. In Sanskrit, 7 is sapta, whereas in Persian it is hafta, because sa was pronounced as ha. Similarly, the Sindhu Nadi was pronounced as Hindu. Sapta Sindha was called Hapta Hindava. So when you are talking about, sir, have you read Rigved? Have you read Rigved? Have you read Rigved? I have read Rigved. I am telling you from the Rigved itself. So when you are talking about Saraswati, it was called as Saraswati.
Lokesh, when we began this discussion, you were of the opinion that he should explain, and you were distancing yourself, and the party said that there is a person that's said in the personal capacity. Now you're defending it. Do you realize that you're defending it?
What I'm saying is, he made the statement in the personal capacity, in his personal belief, but the party has nothing to do with it.
No, but you're defending it.
I'm saying the thing.
Now you just defended it.
When I'm saying that Hindu is of a foreign origin, that has a certain academic basis to it, but that has nothing to do with the stand that the party takes. Please understand. Has the party anywhere in its constitution or anywhere officially stated that Hindu as a term is of foreign origin? No, it's an academic basis.
See, very simple. From the stand that the spokesperson is taking, It's evident that the Congress is a party sans ideology. An individual makes, they first want to distance, today they want to back him up. See, there have been words that have been used like Chendu, Intu, all have positive meanings. Here, these meanings will have to be taken in context, is what he says. Now, if the meaning or the word will have to be taken in context, why does that politician, Mr. Jarkioli, does not come up with all the different forms of the word, when those words were used, for what purpose those words were used, and how those references meant a larger Bharat? But today he wants to use only a derogatory inference and not talk about the positive inferences, and not about inferences made by all travelers. Usage is used made by all other invaders. Today he chooses one particular word for a particular reason. His intention is merely oats. Oats and oats is what the Congress and that particular leader is concerned about, and not about ideology, not about the people, not about the nation.
I would come
Maria,
to that, sir.
I want to come in here, Maria. See, what's happening here is, see, I want to ask through your channel to the Congress, is Congress becoming Hindu bashing champion? So much so is happening today. Not a single word of condemnation from Sonia Gandhi to Rahul Gandhi. Okay, and even to the new president Sri Mallikarjun Kharge. Okay, see, this is not just the Congress doing the Hindu bashing. Even if you see the AAP MLA Rajendra Pal Gautam, he goes on to say Hindus should be made minority or will be made minority at the rate Hindus are spreading terror in this country. And Kejriwal and goes on to say Jai
So
Shri
what
Ram,
about BJP?
Jai Shri Ram, Jai
What
Mata
about
Di. And what a
BJP?
hypocrisy is this? And
So what about
a hypocrisy
BJP?
is
Why
this?
are you giving an immunity to BJP? What about Dilip Ghosh? When Dilip Ghosh questioned the ancestry of Goddess Durga, why are you quiet on that? Why are you quiet on BJP? Why are you quiet when Bansidhar Bhagat he makes fun of Goddess Saraswati, Goddess
Congress
Lakshmi?
and its
Why are you
leaders
quiet when Yogi Adityanath he made fun of
Hindu bashing
Hanumanji?
as their pastime.
No, tell
They
me,
don't
sir, why
have,
are you
see,
quiet when
no,
BJP
they
makes
don't
fun
have
of Hindu
anything to
gods?
say. See,
Why this
wherever Congress is
selectivity?
going,
What is
you
the
are
nexus
getting
between you and
extreme,
BJP?
and you don't
Why
have
are you
anything to
so
prove.
selective
So
when
that's the
BJP
reason
says
why
all
you
these things?
end up
Because you have an
bashing
agenda underneath it.
and abusing
You have
their
political
culture,
aims
abusing their
for it.
customs.
You have nothing to do with Hindu religion. You have everything to do with your political aims and objectives, and you think that the religion is a means to get your political ends. Why are you quiet when BJP does all this forms of gimmicks and mockery?
Okay, Jindal.
No, don't
Okay,
tell me
okay,
that you're not
okay.
aware
I want
of
to
what Dilip
understand
Ghosh
from you.
said.
Since you're leveling that charge against the BJP, what has the Congress done?
See, when you're talking about the entire essence of religion, it is in educating the masses. The true essence of religion it is. It is Congress which came out with Deccan Education Society's Sanskrit Dictionary.
Oh,
It's the
you're giving
greatest
the
dictionary in
lecture,
Asia.
Lokesh.
It
This is
was
not the time
started
to
in
lecture.
1950s.
This is
It is
not
the
the time to
greatest
lecture.
lexicography in
Lokesh,
Sanskrit.
you
It was Congress
unequivocally
which came up with
try
establishment
to
of
condemn
Kalidas
what
University
Satish
so
Jatiwali
as
has
to
said.
educate the masses
Don't
with
try to defend
Vedas.
him.
All
Will
forms
you
of
throw him out of the
Upanishadic
party?
studies institutions were
Will you throw
established.
him out of the
So we
party?
cannot have all these forms of ancient civilizational heritage that we have being associated with one particular
Okay, I have
ideology
just
or one
enough time
political
for the
party.
final words to Ramaswamy Mayappan. Ramaswamy Mayappan,
Three
we are
things.
seeing very polarizing issues emerge from Karnataka, which goes to polls later this year. In fact, next year, early next year. The larger question is that in this, where are the people issues getting lost?
See, I think three things. One, first, for any political party to claim that they are a party of ideology and party of people, they should show action. It can't be merely in distancing. Two, it's for the people. They have shown their statement in 2021 by defeating Mr. Jarkioli. I think that lesson is going to be coming soon. For someone who's had 30 years of experience, I don't think he should be thinking only about electoral politics, but should also start thinking about the people and progress in the particular region. And three, most importantly, I think at the very start of this entire debate, I think there was a blame against media. Media has been fairly reporting every single issue and they've been taking it up. I think fourth pillar of democracy is as strong. I don't think politicians should be coming at the media houses, but instead going after their own respective houses and cleaning that up.
Yes, what is needed right now is action, because if Jarkioli continues to embarrass the Congress, how really does it help the party in the medium to long term, particularly with elections not very far? Thank you so much for joining me, Lokesh Jindal, Vijay Prasad, T.R. Prasad, Gowda and Ramaswamy Mayappan. We are slipping into a short break. Coming up, we decode the pulse of the voters of poll-bound Himachal Pradesh with a special focus on the all-important apple cultivators of the hill state. That report after a very short break. Stay with us.
Campaigns for Congress. The likelihood that Republicans will take control of the House has triggered concerns about the long-term support for the war effort, as a growing number of Republican lawmakers have voiced misgivings about an open-ended financial commitment to Ukraine. The politics surrounding aid to Ukraine is not an easy subject and is also being heard in political rallies. Well, on Thursday, during a visit to Pennsylvania, President Joe Biden said that the Republicans will have the power to back aid to Ukraine if they win back control of Congress. The war in Ukraine has had a direct impact on the inflation in US caused by higher energy prices, and what makes it even worse are the recent actions of one of America's most important allies in the Middle East, Saudi Arabia. The relationship between the Saudis and the Biden administration started out frosty, as President Biden criticized Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman for human rights abuses when he first came into office. When US energy prices started to rise with the Ukraine war, leading to the famous fist bump the two shared back in July, not long after that, the Saudis cut oil production during a global energy price crash. This was seen in Washington as a major review for the United States and President Biden. There's been reporting that MBS, who's just 37, mocked the president and he prefers Donald Trump over Biden. President Biden and his White House is not happy with OPEC, which is contributing to rising gas prices just weeks and days ahead of the midterm election, and gas prices are closely tied to president's popularity in the US. Administration officials and Democrats are now wondering if it's time to reassess the incredibly important relationship, while Republicans continue to push for increased energy production at home instead of continuing to rely on the increasingly unreliable Saudi partnership. Let's now take a look at the big picture. Republican control of the legislature also could amplify the voice of former President Donald Trump, who's expected to be the party's 2024 candidate, and who pursued an America First strategy that shook up US foreign policy during his term in office. Whatever happens on November 8th, President Joe Biden will still need Congress to pass his budgets, approve his nominees for key positions, and in the most serious cases, even approve the use of military force. And there are several current potential global flashpoints for which a flip to Republican control would have consequences. No matter what's the outcome of the midterm, November 8th will also be watched by almost everyone closely in Moscow, Beijing, as they are in Washington. In Washington, D.C., Reena Bhardwaj. The midterms election campaign season largely has been defined by domestic debates over the economy, abortion, crime, and immigration. But voters will also be setting the tone for the next 2 years on international affairs. So what effect could the midterm elections have on US foreign policy? Let's start with China. There is a bipartisan consensus on China, one of the main foreign policy priorities of President Joe Biden's administration. The White House's current approach to Beijing's growing economic might and assertiveness is expected to remain relatively stable no matter what party takes over Congress. Republicans or Democrats, both are unlikely to shift the thrust of the Biden administration's China policy. In fact, expected victories by the Republican Party will almost certainly force the American leader to take an even harder line on Beijing.
"48-year-old Suresh Sharma runs the restaurant on the state highway. 45 kilometers from Shimla. A master's in economics from Himachal University, Sharma owns 3,000 apple trees, but says he bets more on the earnings from his restaurant over the uncertain apple business.
ये जो business है आपका restaurant on the highway is more profitable than apple?
नहीं, मोर प्रॉफिटेबल वैसे तो मैम अभी हमारा न्यू ऑर्चर्ड तैयार हो रहा है, अब देखो आने वाले टाइम में प्रॉफिटेबल हो सकता है ज़्यादा, लेकिन आज की डेट में वी आर सिक्योर, इस बिजनेस में हम ज़्यादा सिक्योर है क्योंकि इसमें हमारा वो थोड़ा सा जो कोविड के टाइम था वो थोड़ा सा काफ़ी वो रहा, लेकिन अदरवाइज जो है इससे हमने काफ़ी ग्रो किया है.
सो दिस इज रिटर्न ऑन इन्वेस्टमेंट इसमें ज़्यादा है इन कंपैरिजन टू एप्पल्स?
नो, ऐसा भी नहीं है कि जो इंटायरली एप्पल का काम कर रहे हैं, जिनके अच्छे बगीचे तैयार हो गए हैं, वो हमारे से भी बेटर कमा रहे हैं. बट मेरा मानना ये है कि एप्पल पे इंटायर डिपेंड रहना किसी के लिए भी ठीक नहीं है. साइमल्टेनियसली कुछ ना कुछ सेकंड जो है काम रहना चाहिए. ना ही हम इस पे डिपेंड रह सकते हैं, ना ही एप्पल पे रह सकते हैं. हम दोनों को साथ लेके चलना चाहते हैं, लेकिन प्लस हो सकता है आने वाले टाइम में अगर प्रॉफिटेबल रहा, आगे सारी गवर्नमेंट ने पॉलिसीज ऐसी बनाई हॉर्टिकल्चर के लिए, एग्रीकल्चर के लिए, तो हो सकता है एप्पल हमारे को ज़्यादा प्रॉफिटेबल रहे.
Himachal Pradesh's apple economy is worth 5,500 crore. But cultivators continue to face the brunt of high input costs and low prices during bumper seasons. Their demands for MSP, uniform box sizes and relaxation in color classifications remain pending. Apple growers hold considerable sway in the Shimla district, where 70% of the state's apples are grown, along with Kinnaur, Solan and parts of Mandi and Sirmaur. The apple belt accounts for 20 of the 68 seats in the state assembly. In the village of Bakol in Kothai, we meet Sanjeev Chauhan, an LLB degree holder. Chauhan says he moved to imported varieties of apples and expanded to add plums and peaches in 2012.
आपने काफ़ी किताबें भी लिखी हैं एप्पल्स पर, और आपने ये शिफ्ट जो है ट्रेडिशनल एप्पल्स टू इंटरनेशनल वैरायटीज़ आपने बहुत पहले कर दिया था, और वो एक ऑलमोस्ट ट्रेंड बन गया पूरे शिमला और आसपास के शहरों में कि सब लोग इटली और यूएस की वैरायटी में शिफ्ट कर रहे थे. तो क्या वो शिफ्ट भी हेल्प नहीं किया फार्मर्स को?
बेसिकली पहले हमें जानकारी लोगों को नहीं थी, तो हमने अपनी किताबों, मैगजीन्स और इंटरनेट, अब आज तो इंटरनेट बहुत मजबूत है, हर आदमी इंटरनेट से जुड़ा हुआ है. जिस समय हम फार्मिंग में आए थे उस टाइम इंटरनेट नहीं था 2007 में, और ऐसे कोटखाई जैसी जगह पे तो इंटरनेट आप सोच भी नहीं सकते थे. तो हमने कोशिश किया कि लोगों को मैगजीन और उनसे बताया जाए कि दुनिया में किस तरह की फार्मिंग की जाती है. तो हम अब कर रहे हैं, लेकिन सबसे बड़ी समस्या आ क्या रही है कि जो हम ये इंपोर्टेड प्लांट्स पे जो ऑर्चर्ड लगा रहे हैं उस पे हमारे को सरकार से किसी तरह की मदद नहीं मिल रही है. अगर ये प्लांट जो आपको प्लांट जो हमने खरीदा है वो 700 इसका कॉस्ट है एक प्लांट का, और ये जो हमने ट्रेलिस खड़ा किया है, मतलब ये जरूरी है M9 के लिए, इसका जो कॉस्ट है वो बहुत ज़्यादा है, और सरकार हमारे को किसी तरह की मदद इन चीज़ों में नहीं कर रही है. किसमें? ऑर्चर्ड जो ऑर्चर्ड हम नया तैयार करेंगे, सरकार की तरफ ना हमारे लिए इसके लिए कोई सब्सिडी है, ना ही कोई आर्थिक मदद है, और यहाँ तक कि लोन तक की सुविधा नहीं है. तो मतलब बहुत मुश्किल है, क्योंकि इसमें जो खर्चा है वो ट्रेडिशनल से कम 5 गुना ज़्यादा है इस ऑर्चर्ड को तैयार करने का.
What started as a sinking business in 2007 turned profitable with an annual turnover of 1.5 crore in 2012. Chauhan today is looking beyond apples.
जो हमारा पुराना ट्रेडिशनल वैरायटीज़ पे जो हम काम कर रहे थे उसको हमने लगाना बंद कर दिया, क्योंकि उसमें हमारा जो नुकसान ज़्यादा है और मुनाफा कम हो रहा है. अब जो हमने ये लेटेस्ट जो जैसे अमेरिका और इटली में ऑर्चर्ड होते हैं उसी तरह डेवलप कर रहे हैं, लेकिन उसका कॉस्ट जो है ना वो बहुत ज़्यादा है यहाँ पर हमारे लिए, क्योंकि मैकेनिज्म नहीं, हमारे को मैनुअली सारी चीज़ें करनी पड़ती है. तो मैंने क्या किया है कि अब मैं धीरे धीरे जो ट्रेडिशनल में मेरा जो घाटा जो है वो लगातार जो मुझे प्रॉफिट है वो कम हो रहा है. तो जो मैं पैसा जो बचा पा रहा हूँ सेब की बागवानी से, वो मैं टूरिज्म की साइड पे जो है वो अपने आप को टूरिज्म की ओर ले जाने की ओर अपने जो कदम है वो बढ़ा चुका हूँ. मुझे लगता है कि मुझे अगर बागवानी का कहीं जिस तरह फेलियर हो रहा है, अगर ये फेलियर चलता रहा तो मुझे जो है अपने आप को जो है टूरिज्म वाली साइड पे जो है शिफ्ट करना पड़ेगा. इसलिए मैं अपना जो कुछ पैसा इससे जो बच रहा है वो अपने टूरिज्म वाली साइड पे लगा रहा हूँ.
as I told you,
Balak Ram too has moved to Italian apples.
अब जो ये वाली जो नई सीरीज चली है, चाहे जिनेवा सीरीज है, चाहे M9 है, ये जो सीरीज है, ये बेसिकली जो है, ये हमारे को इस पे हमारा जो है ना मेहनत कम है एज कम्पेयर टू पहले वाले जो हमारे ट्रेडिशनल एप्पल थे, उसमें 15 साल हमको उसको बच्चे की तरह पालना पड़ता था। 15 साल के बाद वी स्टार्टेड सम क्रॉप, लेकिन इसमें हमने मतलब मैंने 2021 में इसको मतलब इन प्लांट्स को लगाया, तो दिस ईयर आई गॉट सम सैंपल आउट ऑफ इट एंड आई स्टार्टेड अर्निंग आउट ऑफ इट। तो वो एक बड़ा बेनिफिट है। अगर हम चेंज नहीं करेंगे तो हमें बड़ी प्रॉब्लम आने वाली है। और अगर गवर्नमेंट इसको प्रॉपर इसके पीछे मतलब सपोर्ट नहीं देगी तो ये इंडस्ट्री बहुत लंबी नहीं चलने वाली है। और इस वक्त हम लोग जो है ना 4000 से 5000 करोड़ जो है ना मतलब हम जनरेट करते हैं, जो एप्पल इंडस्ट्री जनरेट करती है, जिसमें लेबर है, मतलब ग्रेडिंग पैकिंग है, दूसरी बहुत सारी चीज़ें हैं, मिडिल मैन है। तो ये सारी चीज़ें जो है ना, अगर इसको प्रॉपरली नहीं किया जाएगा, गवर्नमेंट इसके बारे में अच्छी तरह से नहीं सोचती है, तो ये इंडस्ट्री बहुत जल्दी खत्म हो जाएगी।
This retired cop is very clear about the choices this election. He says he may complain about what the government may not have done, but his vote is for nationalism.
What do you think is the most important issue for you?
For me, nationalism. Unless and until nation is saved, none of us will be saved. I personally feel, everyone, nationalism should come first. Your religion, your caste and everything comes later on. Basically, our faulty system by some of the politicians to gain the votes of some society or some caste, some people, they have been appeasing people on some ground, which is a dangerous trend, which is going to doom this country. And if things goes like this, the way a lot of opposition people, those who are appeasing one caste or the one religion, that is a bad trend. We should be Indian first, then anything else.
Biden will still need Congress to pass his budgets, approve his nominees for key positions, and in the most serious cases, even approve the use of military force. And there are several current potential global flashpoints for which a flip to Republican control would have consequences. No matter what's the outcome of the midterm, November 8th will also be watched by almost everyone closely in Moscow, Beijing, as they are in Washington. In Washington, D.C., Reena Bhardwaj. The midterms election campaign season largely has been defined by domestic debates over the economy, abortion, crime, and immigration. But voters will also be setting the tone for the next 2 years on international affairs. So what effect could the midterm elections have on US foreign policy? Let's start with China. There is a bipartisan consensus on China, one of the main foreign policy priorities of President Joe Biden's administration. The White House's current approach to Beijing's growing economic might and assertiveness is expected to remain relatively stable no matter what party takes over Congress. Republicans or Democrats, both are unlikely to shift the thrust of the Biden administration's China policy. In fact, expected victories by the Republican Party will almost certainly force the American leader to take an even harder line on Beijing. Next is Russia's war in Ukraine. Putin's invasion of Ukraine currently is in its 9th month. The US has led international efforts to bolster Ukrainian fight back against Kremlin's aggression and has provided Ukraine with crucial military, economic, and diplomatic support. That support has persisted despite deep partisan division in Washington, D.C., and rifts that have been on full display in election campaigns for Congress. The likelihood that Republicans will take control of the House has triggered concerns about the long-term support for the war effort, as a growing number of Republican lawmakers have voiced misgivings about an open-ended financial commitment to Ukraine. The politics surrounding aid to Ukraine is not an easy subject and is also being heard in political rallies. Well, on Thursday, during a visit to Pennsylvania, President Joe Biden said that the Republicans will have the power to back aid to Ukraine if they win back control of Congress. The war in Ukraine has had a direct impact on the inflation in US caused by higher energy prices, and what makes it even worse are the recent actions of one of America's most important allies in the Middle East, Saudi Arabia. The relationship between the Saudis and the Biden administration started out frosty as President Biden criticized Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman for human rights abuses when he first came into office. When US energy prices started to rise with the Ukraine war, leading to the famous fist bump the two shared back in July, not long after that, the Saudis cut oil production during a global energy price crash. This was seen in Washington as a major review for the United States and President Biden. There's been reporting that MBS, who's just 37, mocked the president and he prefers Donald Trump over Biden. President Biden and his White House is not happy with OPEC, which is contributing to rising gas prices just weeks and days ahead of the midterm election, and gas prices are closely tied to a president's popularity in the US. Administration officials and Democrats are now wondering if it's
Hello and welcome to the late night edition with me, Ayushman Singh Jamwal. Breaking news coming in from Jammu and Kashmir of a tragic accident. A swift plunged into the Chenab River near Premnagar. 4 occupants are missing. Rescue operations are currently underway. In fact, former Chief Minister Ghulam Nabi Azad is at the spot where the car plunged into the Chenab River in the Doda district. He and his team are trying to help in the rescue operations. But what we are learning so far is that 4 people are currently missing. These were 4 boys who were inside this swift vehicle which plunged into the Chenab River near Premnagar. Now, these 4 occupants are still missing, and those visuals on your screen where the rescue operations are still underway. This happened in the Doda district. I'm joined by my colleague Mufti Isla on the phone line. Mufti, what's the latest from Ground Zero?
Well, the police as well as civilians and some of the political workers who happen to be at that spot on that particular time are carrying out the rescue. Police have got pneumatic boats and they're really searching the Chenab Valley, Chenab River, which is very fast moving. And in fact, that rescue operation has started some 2 hours back and still these people are working. Although now I spoke to the SSP of that area, he did say that 4 boys have actually been missing in that tragic accident. How this car plunged into the river is not known. Some saying that perhaps the driver lost control and it accidentally fell into the river and it really dived into the river that kind of swept the car in the water. So far, neither the car nor the 4 boys have been found, but clearly the rescue is going to take time, although there are difficulties. The darkness, as you see in those visuals, has engulfed that area, and clearly that is one hampering aspect. But the searches will carry on till the bodies, or for that matter, if someone is a survivor, is found. As of now, police telling us that, well, the rescues will go on through the night, and if they're very successful, perhaps then these people either would be found alive or their bodies would be found. It seems that there is every likelihood, perhaps, because time has now passed on, it's more than 3 hours since they met that accident, that there is clearly slim chances of them having survived in fast gushing waters of Chenab, which is also extremely cold, as you know.
And also, Mufti, Ghulam Nabi Azad also lending a helping hand to the rescue operations, given that Doda is his home district.
Absolutely. He happened to be on that particular site and he stopped there to check where that car had gone, and he made inquiries about who were the people, who were the occupants of the car. And clearly you will see his deputy also, Ghulam Saruri. He also happened to be there, and he was kind of explaining and telling Ghulam Nabi Azad that the details are like this, that 4 people actually had plunged along with their car into the river. So he was seen telling his workers that they should also lend some help to the police till police gets additional requisition. Clearly good gesture from Ghulam Nabi Azad. But as I've been saying, that fingers crossed Whether those boys are alive or not, that would be known once the police completes that rescue, which is going on as we speak.
Right. Thank you, Mufti, for getting us the latest from Ground Zero. So the search and rescue operations are still underway, where 4 boys who were in that swift car are still missing. We'll continue to track all the developments coming in from Jammu and Kashmir. We're shifting focus. The Congress continues to find itself in a political storm, ladies and gentlemen, sparked by its own leader from Karnataka, Satish Jarkioli. Now, after creating a controversy for claiming that the word Hindu is a vulgar Persian word, the Congress leader has defended his statement. He says he is ready to resign as an MLA if someone proves to him that what he said is wrong, citing multiple pieces of historical literature from Vedic philosophers and even freedom fighters to make his point. But the BJP claims this is yet another insult to Hindus from the Congress camp, accusing the party of insulting India's ancient culture, once again demanding an apology from the Gandhis. The Congress has distanced itself from Jarkioli's remark, claiming it will take a call on disciplinary action. But the BJP says this is a test for Congress chief Mallikarjun Kharge to show if he really runs the party, demanding Jarkioli's ouster. This is indicative of a larger problem with the Congress, ladies and gentlemen, where it finds itself on the back foot when it comes to the politically potent Hindutva card, failing to compete with the BJP at every turn. But ahead of the election season, should the Congress get ahead of this controversy and sack Jarkioli to silence its critics?
हिंदू शब्द कहाँ से आ गया? ये हमारा है, पर्शियन का है.
That's Karnataka Congress MLA Satish Jarkioli sparking a storm with his take on the origin of the word Hindu. But the provocation didn't end there.
फिर उसका मीनिंग आपको समझ में आ गया तो आपके अब शर्म आ जाएंगे. हिंदू का जो मीनिंग है वो बहुत गंदी है.
The following day, Jarkioli remained defiant.
ಆರ್ಯ ಸಮಾಜದ ಸಂಸ್ಥಾಪಕರಾದ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ದಯಾನಂದ ಸರಸ್ವತಿ ಅವರು ರಚಿಸಿದ ಸತ್ಯಾರ್ಥ ಪ್ರಕಾಶ ಪುಸ್ತಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಉಲ್ಲೇಖ ಇದೆ. ಇದನ್ನು ತಾವು ನೋಡಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕರ್ತವ್ಯ ಕೂಡ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ GS ಪಾಟೀಲ್ ಅವರ ಬರೆದಂಥ ಬಸವ ಭಾರತ ಪುಸ್ತಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಉಲ್ಲೇಖ ಇದೆ.
Under fire, Congress condemned the remarks.
ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟೀಕರಣ ಖಂಡಿತ ಬಯಸ್ತೀವಿ. We will not entertain all this stuff, personal opinions. ಎಲ್ಲ ಮನೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ.
But the BJP questioned Rahul Gandhi's silence.
ಸಣ್ಣ ವಿಚಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಕೂಗುವ ರಾಹುಲ್ ಗಾಂಧಿಯವರು, ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯ ಅವರು ಯಾಕೆ ಮೌನ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ? ಅವರ ಮೌನ ಸತೀಶ್ ಜಾರಕಿಹೊಳಿ ಅವರ ಸಮ್ಮತಿನ?
Despite the outrage, Jarkioli stuck to his guns.
ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡಲಿ, ಯಾರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಓಕೆ. ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸತೀಶ್ ಜಾರಕಿಹೊಳಿ ಅವರು ಕ್ಷಮೆ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಕ್ಷಮೆ ಅಲ್ಲ, MLA ಸ್ಥಾನ ಕೂಡ ರಾಜೀನಾಮೆ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅವರು.
Satish Jarkioli, the sugar baron from Belagavi district in North Karnataka, is from a political family, but he is known to be politically incorrect. He resigned from the Siddaramaiah government in 2015, taking a stand against the government's failure to move the anti-superstition bill. In the past, he's also declared that he and Bill Gates became billionaires without worshipping goddess Lakshmi. But with elections around the corner in Karnataka, has Satish Jarkioli become a liability for the Congress?
And breaking news coming in over the Muruga Mutt sexual assault case. CNN News 18 has now accessed the shocking 694-page charge sheet, which includes the statement of the victims, the survivors, who happen to be minor girls, ladies and gentlemen, revealed they were drugged and taken to the accused seer's bedroom, bathroom and office. They also say the female warden would harass and punish the girls if they resisted, even beat them if they resisted. That's the big piece of breaking news that's coming in when it comes to the investigation into the Muruga Mutt sexual assault scandal. What we are learning are the shocking details coming in from the survivors who say that they were drugged and taken to the room, the bathroom and even the office of the accused seer. These are the stunning revelations coming in from the survivors of this entire scandal that has rocked the Muruga Mutt. Now let's listen in to a reaction that's coming in from the local police.
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಒಂದು ಮೊದಲನೇ ಪ್ರಕರಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನು ಆ ಥರ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದರು. ಅದನ್ನು ಪರಿಶೀಲನೆ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಅದು ಹಿಂದೂಪುರ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಸ್ಟೇಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ರೈಲ್ವೆ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಸ್ಟೇಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು UDR ಆಗಿದೆ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಬ್ಬ ಬಾಲಕಿ ರೈಲಿಂದ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಬಿದ್ದು ಮೃತಪಟ್ಟು UDR ಆಗಿದೆ. ತನಿಖೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಆಕಸ್ಮಿಕ ಸಾವು ಅಂತ ಕಂಡು ಬಂದದ್ದರಿಂದ ಅದನ್ನು ಮುಕ್ತಾಯ ಮಾಡಿ ಇವರ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಆರೋಪಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತನಿಖೆಯನ್ನು ನಡೆಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಕಲಂ 173 ಸಬ್ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ 8 ಪ್ರಕಾರ ತನಿಖೆಯನ್ನು ನಾವು ಮುಂದುವರಿಸಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಮತ್ತು ಎಲ್ಲ ಆರೋಪಿತರ ವಿರುದ್ಧವೂ ಕೂಡ ತನಿಖೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಜಾರಿಯಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ಇನ್ನೂ ಸಹ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಸಾಕ್ಷ್ಯಾಧಾರಗಳ